The Republic of Korea Navy, also known as the ROK Navy, is the naval warfare service branch of the South Korean Armed Forces, responsible for conducting naval operations and amphibious landing operations. The ROK Navy includes the Republic of Korea Marine Corps, which is a quasi-autonomous organization, established in 1945. The ROK Navy is the oldest branch of the South Korean Armed Forces. Since the Korean War, the ROK Navy has concentrated its efforts to building naval forces to counteract the North Korean Navy, which has littoral naval capabilities. As South Korea's economy grew, the ROK Navy was able to build larger and better equipped fleets to deter aggression, to protect national maritime rights and to support the nation's foreign policy. As a part of its mission, the ROK Navy has engaged in several peacekeeping operations since the turn of the 21st century. As of 2015, the ROK Navy has about 70,000 regular personnel, including 29,000 Republic of Korea Marines. In addition, there are about 160 commissioned ships in service with the ROK Navy, including about 10 submarines, 120 surface combatants and patrol vessels, 10 amphibious warfare ships, 10 mine warfare ships, and 10 auxiliary ships. The Naval Aviation Force consists of about 60 fixed-wing and rotary-wing aircraft. The ROK Marine Corps has about 500 tracked vehicles, including self-propelled artillery. The ROK Navy aims to become a blue water navy by 2020. Duties and objectives. The main duties of the Navy shall be operations on the sea and landing operations, and the Navy shall be formed and equipped for that purpose and shall provide education and training necessary therefor. The objectives of the ROK Navy as maritime forces for the national security are: establishing autonomous naval forces to deter war, securing maritime superiority to win war, promoting national interests through protection of maritime activities, enhancing the national prestige through naval presence. History. Origins. Korea has a long history of naval activity. In the late 4th century, during the Three Kingdoms period, Goguryeo defeated Baekje, fielding amphibious forces of 40,000 men in the process. In the 9th century, Commissioner Chang Bogo of Unified Silla established a maritime base called Cheonghaejin on an island to foster trading with China and Japan, and to cope with pirates. In 1380, naval forces of the Goryeo dynasty defeated 500 invading Japanese pirate vessels by deploying shipboard guns, devised by Choi Musin. This is reportedly the first use of shipboard guns in naval history. In 1389 and 1419, Korean naval forces invaded Tsushima Island to suppress Japanese piracy. In the early years of the Joseon dynasty, the naval force reached its peak of 50,000 personnel in order to combat the ongoing piracy issue. During the Japanese invasions of Korea, the Korean naval force commanded by Admiral Yi Sun-shin, who later became the head of the Navy, cut off the invaders' naval lifeline and defeated the Japanese fleet, reversing the war in favor of Joseon. Admiral Yi is also credited with the creation of the turtle ship. By the end of 19th century, the Joseon Navy had no significant naval force other than coastal defense fortresses, although there was an attempt to modernize the Navy by establishing a Royal Naval School. The Joseon Navy was brought to an end in 1895. In 1903, the government of the Korean Empire purchased its first modern warship, the Yangmu. Korean naval tradition was disrupted after Korea was annexed by the Empire of Japan in 1910. During the Japanese occupation period, the Imperial Japanese Navy built a naval base, Chinkaigawa District in southern Korea. Founding years and Korean War. Shortly after Korea was liberated from the Empire of Japan on August 15, 1945, Son Won-yeol, a former merchant mariner and son of the independence activist Son Young-do, led the Maritime Affairs Association. The association evolved into the Marine Defense Group on November 11, 1945, and later became the Korean Coast Guard, which was formed in Guinea, after the new Republic of Korea government was established on August 15, 1948. The Korean Coast Guard was formally renamed the Republic of Korea Navy, and Son became the first Chief of Naval Operations of the ROK Navy on September 5, 1948. On April 15, 1949, the Republic of Korea Marine Corps was founded in Guinea. In October 1949, the ROK Navy purchased a 600-ton submarine chaser, the former PC-823, with funds raised among its personnel. She was renamed ROKS Bakdu-san, and became the first significant warship of the newly independent nation. The Korean War started with the North Korean Army's surprise attack on Sunday, June 25, 1950. The ROK Navy confronted threats from the North Korean Navy, perhaps the most aggressive and effective, if smallest, member of the South Korean armed services during the first year of the Korean War was the Republic of Korea Navy. At the outset of the conflict, the 6,956-man ROKN, with naval vessels of various types, was outnumbered by the 13,700 men and 110 naval vessels of the North Korean Navy. With its UN allies dominated by U.S. forces, the ROK Navy was able to gain control in the seas surrounding the country. On July 27, 1953, the three-year-long war was brought to an end when an Armistice Agreement was signed. During the war, Australia, Canada, Colombia, Philippines, France, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Thailand, the United Kingdom, and the United States contributed naval vessels as UN allies. Denmark sent the hospital ship Jutlandia, the Commander-in-Chief Republic of Korea Fleet. The highest operational command was established in September 1953. Building the Navy. Starting in the 1950s, the ROK Navy built up its surface fleet mainly with older warships transferred from the United States Navy. In May 1963, the ROK Navy acquired its first destroyer ROKS Chungmu, the former US Urban, a Fletcher-class destroyer. Starting from 1972, 9 former U.S. and Allen M. Sumner-class and Gearing-class destroyers were transferred and added to the ROK fleet inventory. During the Vietnam War, the ROK Navy dispatched a naval transport squadron called Bakgu, which was composed of 3 LSDs and 2 LSMs. The Republic of Korea Marine Corps sent into a combat brigade called Cheong-Yong to Vietnam. On January 19, 1967, ROKS Dangpo, the former US Marfa, was sunk by North Korean coastal artillery north of the demarcation line off the east coast of Korea in June 1970. A Navy broadcast vessel was captured by North Korean patrol craft in the vicinity of Yeonpyeong Islands in the West Sea. In the 70s, the ROK Navy, through the Park Chung-hee administration's Yul-gok Plan, began to build naval forces with indigenous technology. This initiated the ROK Navy effort to build a fleet of locally built ships. The first 2,000-ton frigate ROKS Ulsan was launched in 1980 and the first 1,000-ton corvette ROKS Poam was launched in 1982, both featuring indigenous technology. The ROK Navy continued to carry out other new shipbuilding projects such as minesweepers, logistic support ships and amphibious landing ships in the 80s and 90s. In 1973, the Republic of Korea Marine Corps, once a separate branch of the armed forces, became a part of the Navy. Modernizing the Navy since the 90s, the ROK Navy has been steadily upgrading its naval forces. In 1995, Admiral An Pyong-tae, the Chief of Naval Operations, presented his plan for the future of the ROK Navy, which included building a blue water navy, as a part of a plan to strengthen the surface combatant forces. The ROK Navy launched the lead ship of the Gwanggaeto, the Great-class destroyer, in 1996 to replace the former U.S. Navy destroyers. For building up a submarine force, the ROK Navy purchased its first submarine, the Changbogo, from Hauptwerke Deutsche Werft of Germany in 1992. In order to replace its antiquated S-2 Tracker anti-submarine warfare airplanes, South Korea purchased a squadron of P-3C Orion maritime patrol aircraft. These were delivered to the ROK Navy starting in 1995. Establishing a regional navy, the ROK Navy continues to put its efforts to build a blue water navy. In 2001, then-President Kim Dae-jung announced a plan for building up the Strategic Mobile Fleet. In 2002, the lead ship of the 5,500-ton Chungmugong Yi-Sunshin-class destroyer was launched. In 2005, the 18,800-ton amphibious landing ship ROK was launched. In 2006, the ROK Navy launched the lead ship of the 1,800-ton Son-1 Yil-class submarine, which was named after the first Chief of Naval Operations, equipped with an air-independent propulsion system. In May 2007, the ROK Navy launched the lead ship of the 11,000-ton Sejong, the Great-class destroyer, built around the American-made Aegis combat system and the SPY-1D multifunction phased array radar. As a part of its mission, the ROK Navy participated in several peacekeeping operations since the turn of the 21st century. On March 26, 2010, ROK's Cheonan, a Poam-class corvette, was sunk by a North Korean torpedo, resulting in death of 46 sailors near Bahrain Yeong Island, in the vicinity of the Northern Limit Line. Command and Organization. The Republic of Korea Navy includes the Republic of Korea Navy Headquarters, Republic of Korea Marine Corps, Republic of Korea Fleet, Naval Education and Training Command, Naval Logistics Command, and Naval Academy. The Chief of Naval Operations is the highest-ranking officer of the ROK Navy. Senior leadership. As of June 2016, the following people were in office: Chief of Naval Operations Admiral Young Ho-sub, Commander Republic of Korea Fleet, Vice Admiral Lee Ki-sik, Commandant of the Republic of Korea Marine Corps Lieutenant General Lee Sang-hoon, Superintendent of the Republic of Korea Naval Academy Vice Admiral Lee Bum-rim, Commander Naval Education and Training Command, Vice Admiral Kim Pan-gyu, Commander Naval Logistics Command, Rear Admiral Lee Bung-kwon. Organization: Republic of Korea Navy Headquarters. The ROK Navy is led by the Chief of Naval Operations. The Republic of Korea Navy Headquarters located within the Jaeryong-dae Complex. The Tri-Service Headquarters in Jaeryong includes the Office of the Chief of Naval Operations and various agencies and staff functions. The CNO is a 4-star admiral and a member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The CNO oversees the administration of recruiting, organizing, training, equipping, supplying, and mobilizing the ROK Navy. Republic of Korea Fleet. The Commander Republic of Korea Fleet is responsible for naval operations and based at the Busan Naval Base. COMROKFLT also serves as Commander Naval Component Command of the ROK U.S. Combined Forces Command in peacetime, and as the Deputy Commander and Naval Component Command in wartime. The Republic of Korea Fleet has 3 numbered fleets, each assigned to the seas east, west, and south of South Korea. 1st Fleet, Maritime Combat Group 1. 2nd Fleet, Maritime Combat Group 2. Inter-Naval Sector Defense Command. 3rd Fleet, Maritime Combat Group 3. For various types of naval operations, the ROK Fleet has a submarine force, 2 surface flotillas, a naval aviation force, a special warfare forces, and units for combat readiness and meteorology, oceanography, submarine force command. Component Flotilla 5, Mine Warfare Squadron 52, Amphibious Squadron 53, Salvage Squadron 55, Ship Salvage Unit, Air Wing 6, Maritime Task Flotilla 7, Combat Training Group 8, Naval Special Warfare Flotilla, Maritime Tactical Intelligence Group. Numbered fleets. The 3 numbered fleets, each led by a rear admiral, are responsible for protecting the green water around South Korea. The 1st Fleet is for the Eastern Naval Sector, the 2nd Fleet is for the Western Naval Sector, and the 3rd Fleet is for the Southern Naval Sector including Jeju Island. Each fleet includes a Maritime Combat Group, which comprises squadrons of patrol forces composed of Gwanggaeto the Great-class destroyers, Intern-class frigates, Ulsan-class frigates, Poam-class corvettes, and Yunyang-ha-class and Chamshuri-class patrol vessels. Maritime Task Flotilla. When taking command of the Navy in 1995, Admiral An Pyong-tae, then Chief of Naval Operations, proposed to build a blue water navy for the Republic of Korea. In the year 2001, President Kim Dae-jung announced a plan for creating a task force called Strategic Maneuver Fleet, which will protect national interests in the 5 oceans and contribute to world peace. As part of the plan, the ROK Navy established one task force, Commander Maritime Task Flotilla 7, on February 1, 2010, which evolved from the ASW Squadron 51 of the component Flotilla 5. The Maritime Task Flotilla is composed of 3 Sejong the Great-class Aegis-guided missile destroyers, and 6 Chungmagong-yi Sunshin-class destroyers. It is headquartered at Jeju Naval Base, Jeju-do. The forces hope to be able to defend South Korea against any North Korean aggression, as well as being able to protect trade routes vital to the ROK. It is also designed to be able to suppress disputes or territorial spats using deterrence and, if necessarily, force. In addition to combat operations, the ships of the flotilla performs humanitarian operations. A Chungmagong-yi Sunshin-class destroyer of the task flotilla is being deployed in response to piracy attacks in shipping lanes off the coast of Somalia. Republic of Korea Marine Corps Naval Education and Training Command. The Naval Education and Training Command is one of the 2 major shore commands of the ROK Navy responsible for training. It is located in Jinni. Its primary role is to conduct the initial orientation and basic training for new recruits of the Navy and the Korea Coast Guard. The Naval Reserve Officer Training Corps are under the Naval Education and Training Command. Naval Logistics Command. The Naval Logistics Command is the other major shore command of the ROK Navy. It also operates the naval shipyard located in Jinni. Republic of Korea Naval Academy. The Republic of Korea Naval Academy is a 4-year coeducational service academy located in Jinni. It was established in 1946. Graduates are commissioned as ensigns in the Navy or second lieutenants in the Marine Corps. The Naval Academy also hosts the Officer Candidate School, which provides training to become commissioned officers for civilian college graduates and candidates with military experience. Location: the ROK Navy operates several naval bases in South Korea, Jinni, Busan, Donghae, Pyeongtaek, Mokpo, Jeju-do, Incheon, Pohang. Naval air stations are in Pohang, Jinni, and Mokpo. Jinni has been the major port for the ROK Navy since the establishment of the Korean Coast Guard by hosting vital naval facilities including the Naval Shipyard. Busan has become another major naval base for the ROK fleet since its command headquarters moved from Jinni in 2007. Donghae, Pyeongtaek, and Mokpo host the command headquarters of the 1st, 2nd and the 3rd Fleet respectively. Incheon hosts a defense command under a one-star admiral responsible for littoral waters close to Seoul, the nation's capital. Pohang has a naval base for amphibious forces such as the 1st Marine Division located nearby. In February 2016, the ROK Navy completed a new naval base on the southern coast of Jeju-do for basing the Maritime Task Flotilla and a submarine squadron, in order to strengthen its control over the seas around the Korean peninsula by deploying these forces. Relationship with the U.S. Navy. South Korea has a joint military partnership with the United States as outlined by the Mutual Defense Treaty signed in 1951. Commander U.S. 7th Fleet is designated as Commander Naval Component Command for the defense of the Korean Peninsula in the event of hostilities. All friendly naval forces in the theater would fall under C-7F control. Commander U.S. Naval Forces Korea is a shore command of the United States Navy that serves as the shore support agency for all U.S. naval activity in South Korea. Commander Fleet Activities. Jinni is a U.S. naval installation in Jinni. Personnel. The ROK Navy has about 70,000 personnel, including the 29,000 members of the ROK Marine Corps. Among these members, about 11% of them are commissioned officers and about 32% of them are non-commissioned officers. Military service is mandatory for all South Korean men. In the ROK Navy, all members are volunteers, with enlisted sailors serving for 23-month periods, and enlisted Marines serving for 21-month periods, commissioned officer, warrant officer, and non-commissioned officer serving longer terms than those of enlisted men, or as career sailor, airmen, and Marines. In the year 2001, 6 female ensigns, who had become commissioned officers through the Officer Candidate School, were assigned to serve on surface ships of the ROK Navy, for the first time ever. Commissioned officers. There are several paths to becoming a commissioned officer in the ROK Navy, including the Naval Academy, Officer Candidate School, and Naval Reserve Officer Training Corps. Officer Candidate School, located at the Naval Academy, Jinni, provides training for candidates with current or prior enlisted experience in the military and civilian college graduates, which take majority in OCS. Warrant Officers. Following the traditions of the British Royal Navy, the warrant officer rank in the South Korean Armed Forces falls in between the top non-commissioned and commissioned officers. In the ROK Navy, warrant officers are mostly former non-commissioned officers who had earned the rating of Warrant and who had been selected for and completed a Warrant Officer Candidate Program. Another route to becoming a naval warrant officer is to complete a Naval Aviation Warrant Officer Candidate Program. Warrant officers generally mess in the wardroom with commissioned officers. Petty officers. Petty officers originate from a Petty Officer Candidate Program. In the ROK Navy, personnel with ranks of Hussar through Onsa are considered petty officers, while those at Sangsa and Wonsa are further referred to as CPO. Collectively, The CPOS have privileges such as separate dining and living areas. The new rating of quasi-autonomous, introduced 2015, is the highest enlisted rank. There are the appointments of quasi-autonomous and quasi-autonomous are equivalent to that of the U.S. Navy's Command Master Chief Petty Officer. The positions are filled by senior quasi-autonomous and quasi-autonomous respectively, and unlike the U.S. Navy counterparts, the ROK Navy quasi-autonomous and quasi-autonomous wear the same standard rate insignia of quasi-autonomous and only wear a special identification badge. Every ROK Navy establishment and ship has either a quasi-autonomous or a quasi-autonomous, and from 2015 a quasi-autonomous, who serves as the senior enlisted rating. Enlisted in the ROK Navy, enlisted sailors are referred to as sub-ion. Normally the enlisted sailors serve in the Navy for 23 months, after completing the military services as Byongjang. Most of them are transferred from active duty to the Naval Reserve. Uniforms. ROK Navy uniforms were based on U.S. Navy uniforms with some notable differences. Petty officers, not just CPOS, wear uniforms identical to that of an officer's uniform except with different insignia, and petty officers wear a peaked cap with a white cover and a gold chin strap. Junior enlisted men wear dungaree trousers and chambray shirts as their work uniforms. Ranks and rates in the ROK Navy. As in the rest of the ROK Armed Forces, ranks fall into one of four categories: commissioned officer, warrant officer, non-commissioned officer, and enlisted, in decreasing order of authority. Commissioned officer ranks are subdivided into flag officers, senior officers, and junior officers. All three branches, the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force of the ROK Armed Forces, share the same names of ranks as written in Hangul. No one held the rank of Wonsu in the history of the ROK Armed Forces. Squared. Senior captains in command of squadrons can be referred to as Commodore verbally and in correspondence as in the U.S. Navy. Cubed. Personnel in quasi-autonomous and quasi-autonomous rates are referred to as CPO collectively, and they have privileges such as separate dining and living areas. Naval engagements of the ROK Navy. Battle of Hareju, Gangneung infiltration, 1998 Sokcho submarine incident. Battle of Yosu, First Battle of Yanpyeong, Second Battle of Yanpyeong, Battle of Daecheong. Major international activities. The ROK Navy frequently participates in multinational exercises and international activities. Also, it has engaged in several peacekeeping operations since the turn of the 21st century. Pacific Reach. The ROK Navy has participated in the biannual submarine rescue exercise since 2000. In 2004, the ROK Navy hosted the exercise, which was the first multinational naval exercise the ROK Navy ever hosted. RIMPAC. The ROK Naval Forces have participated in the biannual multilateral naval exercise since 1990. ROK U.S. Combined Amphibious Landing Exercise. The ROK Navy and ROKMC together with the U.S. Navy and U.S. Marine Corps conduct the exercise annually in Korea. ROKNJMSDFSAREX. The ROK Navy and Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force conducted the search and rescue exercise biannually since 1999. WPMCMEX-DIVEX. The mine warfare forces of the ROK Navy have participated in the Western Pacific Mine Countermeasure Exercise diving exercise since 2004. Cruise training. Since 1954, the ROK Navy has conducted the annual ocean-going training with the fourth-year midshipmen of the Naval Academy to provide on-the-job training, before commissioning them and to foster relations with other navies around the world. Navy-to-Navy talks. The ROK Navy holds regular naval conferences with its counterparts of Germany, Indonesia, Japan, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Turkey, the United Kingdom, and United States. Cobra Gold, together with the ROK Marines, ROKS Seong and Bong, had participated in Cobra Gold 2010 anti-piracy operations since March 2009. The ROK Navy has deployed the Cheongi Task Group in response to piracy attacks in shipping lanes off the coast of Somalia. This task group is composed of a Chungmagongyi Sunshin-class destroyer and about 30 naval special warfare personnel. The group operates as part of the multinational task force, Combined Task Force 151 of Combined Maritime Forces. The ROK Navy has dispatched 5 warships to the mission area under the name of Cheongi Task Group. As of September 2010, ROKS Wang Jian is carrying out the mission in the area. On January 21, 2011, South Korean naval commandos carried out Operation Dawn of Gulf of Aden, an operation to rescue the crew of the hijacked MV Samho Jewelry and succeed in rescuing the crew and killing or capturing all of the pirates on board. International Fleet Review. In October 1998, the ROK Navy hosted its first International Fleet Review in commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the Republic of Korea and its armed forces off the coast of Busan and Guinea. 21 ships from 11 countries participated in the Fleet Review, as well as 34 ships and 15 aircraft from South Korea. The ROK Navy hosted its second International Fleet Review off coast of Busan in October 2008 to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the South Korean government. 22 ships from 11 countries participated in the Fleet Review, as well as 33 ships and 27 aircraft from South Korea. The Cruise Training Unit ROKS Kwagato the Great, ROKS Jeju and ROKS Cheonji participated in International Fleet Review 2002 commemorating the 50th anniversary of JMSDF in Tokyo Bay. The Cruise Training Fleet ROKS Chungmagongyi Sunshin and ROKS Cheonji visited the United Kingdom in order to take part in the International Fleet Review for Trafalgar 200 in 2005. In April 2009, ROKS Dokudo and ROKS Kangamchan attended an International Fleet Review to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the founding of the Chinese People's Liberation Army Navy in Qingdao. In August 2009, the Cruise Training Flotilla ROKS Choyang and ROKS Dicheong participated in the Indonesian International Fleet Review, which commemorates the 64th anniversary of Indonesian independence.